Hello, welcome to a new video. Today is kind of an update video on a handful of things. I will have timestamps for all three things that I'm going to be talking about today, starting with the Vancouver Regionals. It's happening on Saturday, 28th, on a Saturday in 2 weeks. I have signed up, but I also need practice. I haven't done any competitive PvP in over a year, so if you would like to practice with me, you can show up to any of my streams Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. PDT. There is a redemption, there's a command where you just put your team of 6 into my chat and I will show you my 6. It may change over time, and we will do a battle of 3. Get some practice. You can watch the VOD, see my analysis on both teams, stuff like that. If I have time off of stream, you can message me on Discord or Twitter and see if I have, some time to do some practice battles with you. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I would like as much practice as possible. Second thing today we're going to talk about is GoFest. Something that somebody has asked is what to prep for GoFest and what to prep for the habitats during the online GoFest around the world. I have images of the 4 habitats on under me. We have the green circles, which highlight PvP relevant Pokemon, and then blue circles, blue violet circles highlighting shinies that I think are worth grinding for or picking up and are rare or something like that. We have I once again, this is my own personal opinion. I've put little ratings as well in terms of how valuable I think this habitat is for grinding, depending on what you want. Some people don't care for shinies, and some people don't care for PvP, so whichever works for you. I have recommended megas to evolve. So starting with City, we have actually quite a few PvP relevant Pokemon. Some of them are XL as well, including Trash Cloak Burmy, Bronzor, and Alolan Grimer is an interesting one. But for the future, look forward to a Blast Burn Incineroar. Would be really cool to bring that into the Great League. It is already really good in the Ultra League as well. And then Galarian Shiny, Trubbish, Pidove, these are some really rare shinies, but there's not too many solid shinies in this entire collection that haven't been around for too long already. So, habitat number 2, we have the plains. Lots of really cool shinies. Half of them are new shinies as well. And in terms of PvP, there's only a few kind of not even super meta relevant picks, but rather spice picks like Leo. And then Excadrill is only a good Pokemon to be used in Master Premier Classic. So there's only so much you can do, uh, or so much meta relevant things to be using in this habitat. So if you don't care for shinies, then I would recommend maybe, did I say shinies? If you don't care for PvP, then you could take a break during this habitat. Although Shiny Axio is kind of solid and new and also really rare outside of this habitat. So it's up to you. Rainforest, we have quite a few PvP relevant Pokemon, but these Pokemon have been around for a very long time. So for some of you, this may be a very important PvP habitat. For some others, not so much if you already have Pokemon like Swampert, Shiftry, Vigoroth in your collection. Scrub is going to be one of the rarer PvP Pokemon that people probably need to grind out for Dragalge. Really good in both the Great and Ultra, but apart from that, Shinies are pretty average as well. We do have the new Carablast and Shroomish, so that is kind of cool. Uh, Megas, Venusaur. Most of these Pokemon are grass. The only thing that you really want to Mega Evolve differently is potentially Gyarados for either Mudkip candies and Scrub candies, or maybe Binnacle candies too for some reason. Tundra, last but not least, we have a handful of old PvP Pokemon as well. Um, some of them are rare, but some of them have kind of dropped out, and some of them have been around for several community days as well. Metatite is going to be a really valuable XLable Pokemon, that goes without saying. It is, however, kind of awkward because it is the only psychic and or fighting type Pokemon, making your Mega Evolution grind a little out of place during this habitat. If you don't care for Metatite candies, then Gyarados is probably your go-to. Getting the water type bonus gives you most of the meta, and most ice types in this habitat aren't really too relevant either for PvP or raids. So shinies, they're old shinies. They're nice shinies, but they're old shinies. Okay. And then last but not least today, we're going to talk about Araquanid. Last time I made a video, they actually ended up changing the moveset. It used to be Bubble, Lunge, Bug Buzz, Bubble Beam, Crunch. It had a lot in its kit, and it used to be quite overpowered, to be honest. But removing Bubble meant that it can only deal resisted bug bite damage or infestation damage to fairy, steels, and poison type Pokemon, without access to a real source of water type damage. Bubble Beam is a more of a debuffing move than it is a true damage dealing move for water type Pokemon. So it is a really awkward moveset now. It is much more similar to Jellicent in that you have to bait and nuke in most cases. However, there are still a lot of wins that are carried through because of how bulky Araquanid is. And because you do have Bubble Beam, you can kind of play around by debuffing opponents in some cases. So I'm going to go over some of the popular matchups more related to the regionals show 6 pick 3 meta rather than the open Great League Pokemon that you might see. So Araquanid with Bug Bite and Bug Buzz can win in Azumarill in the 1 and the 2. If you have Bubble Beam, it doesn't change anything. It just goes to show without baits, without luck and shield dependency, stuff like that, you can still win in the 1 and the 2. And that's something that you're dealing resisted damage to. Araquanid deals resisted bug type damage to the fairy type of Azumarill, while fairy Azumarill is dealing stab, play rough, neutral damage to Araquanid. So that goes to show how powerful Araquanid can be. Another popular matchup, Medicham, you have a little bit of a bait dependent moveset. You do want to get Bug Buzz off on the opponent, and if you don't, you can potentially lose the 2 shield. So it is a tight matchup, but a win nonetheless. And you can win with no baits. Another one we have here is Walrein. Bug Bite, Bug Buzz, you're resisting everything that Walrein does, ice, ground, and you're dealing neutral damage. It's a very easy win. Against Trevenant, it's a little awkward. It is a little bait dependent on both ends, but it actually favors Araquanid a little more because it can tank a Shadow Ball. And with the debuffs of Bubble Beam, it stacks up, and you could potentially survive Shadow Ball plus Seed Bomb plus a bunch of Shadow Claws as well. And then against Sableye, another popular Pokemon, another Ghost type, you'll see that there are wins and losses. That is with the Infestation moveset. I'm going to change this to Bug Bite. You have now more wins and a very tight loss. So that's also a really good matchup. It's not a good win, but it is a win. It is a close matchup, something you can play around. And then last but not least, Araquanid versus Registeel. Same thing with against Stunfisk. you're going to lose. So this is going to be your hardest counter, and this will also include flying type Pokemon like Skarmory, Altaria, even Noctowl, uh, becoming slightly more popular recently with the Shadow Ball edition. So Araquanid, not unstoppable. Most of its wins, where it has a lot of wins, but most of its wins are close. They're very tight wins. So it's probably going to be used in both JBL and the regional pick six, show 6 pick 3 meta, but it's definitely manageable. I think one more Pokemon I think that's worth mentioning is Nidoqueen. Shadow Nidoqueen doesn't matter. Araquanid loses because Poison Jet, Poison Fang is extremely overpowered. So that's the update on what I'm doing for regionals, what to Mega Evolve for GoFest, as well as what changes Araquanid has brought to PvP. All right, peace.